All right. Let's share screen. Have you paid the cost? Okay, yeah, not the cost. Can you all see my screen? I mean, this is a regular thing that you always hear on YouTube, Zoom meetings all the time. So can you all see my screen? If you can see my screen, just say hi or just like say something or
Yes,
send a
yes,
reaction. Oh, fantastic.
I can
Good.
hear.
So today's presentation won't be like the formal kind of presentation, right? It's going to be something, let me use the word more of informal because I really want to make it kind of something that will be a two-way kind of discussion and, where we can all share our thoughts as well. And I can also share my experience of how I got the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship and also got a fully funded scholarship to study in the United States. So pushing forward on this, yeah, we know what scholarship and we know there are a lot of scholarship out there. We have like the MasterCard, and by now you know what the definition of a scholarship looks like, right? Something like what like sponsors you to achieve something or to go for your graduate program. And it's still like something very funny that even up to now, people still believe that, yeah, scholarship, it's fraudulent. It's not real. It's false. It's not something that is genuine. They'll tell you it's not a lie, like in the local parlance, that it doesn't exist, that is very difficult to get. But I will tell you from, maybe I didn't put all those things in my profile, but if I tell you from my profile, you know that anyone can get a scholarship. You just have to market yourself and sell yourself for you to get a scholarship. So we have different kinds of scholarship, right? We have the MasterCard scholarship, we have the Shevlin scholarship, the Commonwealth Shared scholarship, we have the Fulbright, the PTDF scholarship, the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, and also we have other couple of different scholarships as well too. But for the key focus of the scholarship today we'll be talking about is the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So I will want to do like a little dig out of Erasmus Mundus scholarship and like let's jump right into also the United States scholarship because I believe that or I feel that a lot of people just ink themselves on, oh yeah, it's gonna be either Children's scholarship or it's gonna be Master's card, or if it's not Erasmus Mundus, or if it's not United Kingdom, if it's not those ones, I can't go to another place again. There are tons of scholarship out there. And one interesting thing is that the United States is a land of all, like they say, right? There are tons of scholarship out there in the United States, and it's a very easy process to say. When I say easy now, it's not as if you just throw in your applications and press your leg and just say, yeah, I'm going to get a scholarship, right? So I will start with the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. I will do a little dig about it and talk about it, the benefits, and how you can apply for that. And then I go to the United States Scholarship on how you can apply to that. So the whole essence of this is that for you to have a broader view of what this whole scholarship application is all about. Um, I would want you to, if you have the opportunity to get your phones to like follow me through, put your questions down so that you can ask me questions. Please and please, no question is inconsequential. No question is stupid. No question doesn't make sense. Every question makes sense. You can ask me any question. Any question, I mean any question, please. So feel free for that. Let's jump right into the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, right? So what's the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship? It's like a scholarship that is sponsored by the European body and they sponsor your 2 years master's program. So it's a master's scholarship, right? So if you're going for after your BSc, you're going for your master's scholarship, a master's program rather, you need a scholarship to sponsor that. Erasmus Mundus is there for you. Aside from Shevlin, I think Shevlin is more focused on the United Kingdom, if I'm very correct. I applied for Shevlin twice and I got a couple of love letters. Now, like I mentioned earlier, that this is going to be something informal, right? So I want to like have one-on-one, like, rapport with you people and to share my thoughts about scholarship applications in general. Now, the mistakes people make all the time is that they want to focus on Commonwealth, the United Kingdom, and they feel like, yes, I have this particular degree, so it's going to be this degree I'm going to follow through. So if it is not, let's say I studied laboratory science, for instance, or I did geology in my undergrad, so it's going to be that trajectory I'm going to go all through. But it's not like that in life. Life is dynamic. You have to be flexible if you really want to achieve a lot of things in life. You need to open up your mind to a variety of things. And this was one of the key factors that actually helped me my scholarship journey, right? So for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, it's sponsors you to 2 year master's program. And one interesting thing about the Erasmus Mundus is that for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, you have the privilege to like travel from countries to countries, you travel from one country to another. So this is all about what the Erasmus Mundus is all about. So if you're someone that you want to, let's say, explore, you like to like travel, you want to explore diversity of culture, or you want to like, you love to travel a lot, Erasmus Mundus is a very good one for you there. And trust me, it's straight, it's forward. All what you just need is your application packages. And there are several things as well that I will also share. And in this presentation as well, I will also share my own personal essay that I used to get the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Now, one thing I need to know, make you understand is that there is no perfect essay. Just get that in mind. There is no perfect statement of purpose or perfect motivational letter that makes you feel like, yes, I have to like particularly do this thing to get this particular scholarship. So you have three institutions, or at least four, let's just say, because in my own case for the Erasmus Mundus, it was about four, I think four universities and four countries. In France, you go to France for the first, I think, 6 months. Then the next 6 months, you go to Sweden. From Sweden, you go to Greece. From Greece, you go to Portugal. So this is what the scholarship will cover. And yeah, so I would want us to do some very key things right now, something practical, because today's session is going to be practical. And I want to take a screenshot of some things like, I'll come back to this later. Oh, take that screenshot. So I want you to follow the guidelines on this, on how to apply for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship itself. Okay. So let's jump out of this. Okay. Yeah. So if you type Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, it should bring you to this stage. I believe most folks are following with me right now. If you are following me doing this, so I'll give you time. Like you type Erasmus Mundus Scholarship online on Google search. Give me a shout out, or try to like, let's say, give me a reaction if you are following through, because I don't want to just talk and talk and, talk and talk, present and go. I want to do a live demonstration so that folks can see what it looks like. So if you can see my screen, if you've already typed in Erasmus Mundus Scholarship on Google search, can I see a reaction on that? Anyone can unmute and say, yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, we're following.
Awesome, awesome. So now,
following.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So now, the scholarship actually covers your visa application. So you're not paying out of pocket. If you're paying out of pocket, you'll get a refund when you get the scholarship. This is after you've gotten the scholarship, right? So it covers for your travel costs, your living allowances, your full tuition, like all of your school fees, the one we call school fees in Nigeria. It covers all of that. So your tuition, you have like a full tuition covered. You have a living allowance, you have your visa catered for. So if you are paying for, let's say, your visa, and let's say, for instance, in my case, I also pay, I think, 160 euros thereabout for a French visa. I don't know if that has changed right now. All of that will be covered. They'll reimburse you. They'll give you back the money. Like, you are paying literally nothing. Just bring your 2 legs, your 2 hands, your box, and bring yourself down to the country to begin study. That's all what this class is all about. So it's a very good thing. And while you're on the scholarship, you have the opportunity to, if you want to travel for a conference or for a workshop, there are some allocated funds for those kind of workshops or conferences for those travel costs. So it's a very good thing for you to get the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Like the exposure is right there. The trainee, their internship opportunities to tour around the countries. Like Europe is, Europe is a lot of culture diversified. And if you want to explore all of those options, like I said, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship is a very good thing for you. So what are the type of degrees that are awarded? So to my understanding, I just want to really point out this is that I did not opt into the Erasmus Mundus. I won Erasmus Mundus, but when the United States opportunity came, I had to go for that. And you can feel free to ask me later on, like, why did you choose the United States? We'll talk about that towards the end of the presentation. So for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship right now, you have this joint degree where you go to a particular university, you do your 6 months, you get it from there, then you go to another thing. So they call like a joint master's degree. So when you have this all multiple research experiences and educational academic experiences from different universities, right? It's also like build your profile. It's like a personal development for you. Now, the major thing that most folks make, the mistake some people make, right, is they see scholarship as a means to, I want to jackpot, like we say, right? We want to jackpot, and that's true. Like, but if that is your major motivation for why you want a scholarship, believe me, it might be a little bit frustrating for you. So I wanted to rebrand, like recalibrate your thought process and tell yourself, like, why do I need a scholarship? Yes, I want to jackpot. Yes, I want to make money. I'll tell you the truth. When I got the scholarship then, and they were giving us the money, right? They were telling us that the money, this is money you get, is it 5,000 euros or 7,000 euros? You know, the normal typical Nigerian now, you just convert to Naira quick in your head, like, wow, 5 million Naira for the first month. Man, I've blown already, and that like that. So if that is your major goal and everything, it can be very frustrating. But try to recalibrate your mind and make yourself that, yeah, why do I want to go for a scholarship? Why do I want to go for a master's degree? There must be a motivation, because if you think this way, all of these will help, like it will integrate into writing a very quality statement of purpose. You see, so when you have this kind of thought behind it, like, yeah, I'm motivated because I want to go for a master's degree because I believe I need a master's degree to advance in my career or to do all these professional advancements. Oh, I really want to solve this particular global issue or be part of those tackling these kind of issues like global climate change, for instance. Now, like I want to solve this, right? So these are things you have to like ask yourself, and this will propel you, like motivate you to wanting a scholarship. When you have that settled already, like, yeah, then you start to filter out the kind of scholarship you want. You start to check your profile. Okay, I want to solve climate change, although you can't really solve climate change because no one is God. You just like make some inferences from climate models. Now you're just like pushed with that. Like that is a motivation. Now that gives you that motivation. It starts to help you channel you to, since I want to study this particular thing now for a master's, yeah, I need to take this particular online course. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. You see, these things are what motivates you. So that when you're writing your essays, for instance, now, you are building it based on those motivations and not just throwing this application anyhow. It's going to get through. Let them read it. Magic will happen. There are people who are out there who are also applying for that same position, who are taking their time out to be motivated, to dig into their experience, dig into their self, understand themselves. So these are things you want to like integrate into this whole scholarship vibes or scholarship application. So now for the Erasmus Mundus now, we've seen like this is what like it broadly entails, like covers all of these visa, travel, living allowances. Now, I know what Erasmus Mundus Scholarship is all about. What's the next step? And believe you, when the first time I heard about Erasmus Mundus, it was really confusing because I go to the website, you can't see any place it tells you apply. You know, when you go for like Chef now, you will see something like click here to apply or stuff like that. For the Erasmus Mundus, it can be a little bit tricky. It can be like confusing and annoying at the same time because if you scroll to this website, I'll tell you, you would barely start seeing, you will not see, and they tell you search and apply, right? This is where people like mix it out. They just feel like, where is the search and apply? Like, what should I do next? Now, if you go to your Google search and type in Erasmus Mundus catalog. So if you do that right now, we want to start from there to put you through on how to apply for this. So when I put you through on how to apply for this, then we go now to the writing of the essay. What will your essay look like? What should your CV look like? And then I will share with you my essay as well, what I used to apply for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Please and please, when I show these materials, I'm not showing for you to screenshot it and plagiarize it or copy and paste. I believe you people are all smart people. It's just for you to guide you and to tell you like, this is what and what I need to do. Okay, so I know that I'm not just speaking to myself alone. Can I get a reaction from folks that just know that, yeah, you are tagging along with this, please? Can I see some reactions? Probably on the message, just to show that, yeah, at least I'm not just the one. Okay, yeah, cool, awesome, sweet. Okay, so I've typed in Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, and I believe that wherever you are, you've also typed in the same thing, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship too, right? So we click on, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, which is the first link I see right there. And then it brings you to this particular page. And then you'll see this whole Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, Erasmus Mundus catalog that you see filter by. And now I'm on this page. What do I do next? Like, what should be my next action here? So I'm going to clear my filter, right? Just for, so that we can start afresh and I can carry people along. So now, my background, I have a bachelor's in geology, right? And I've dig into my own self. So think about yourself that I have a bachelor's in this. Wherever bachelor's you have yourself in, like you have a bachelor's in wherever field, bachelor's of science in geology, microbiology, biochemistry, and all of that, right? So I thought about that. I have a bachelor's in this. It's good for you to have like a profile, like know what you want. This is the first step, like I mentioned. Know what you want for a scholarship. Where am I going to? What do I want? Like I said again, don't allow the motivation of I want to just jack back, I want to just go, I want to just leave the country. That's why I want a scholarship. Know what you want. And for you to know what you want, you have to know what you have been through, like your experiences, your knowledge, like all of those things. And this will all like be like something that will project you to actually knowing what you actually want for a master's. Now, I understand myself. I have a bachelor's of science in geology. That's me right now. So think about the same thing with you. I have a bachelor's of science or wherever in what field. Now you come to this place, filter by. Now the filter by, you can see we have the keywords, we have this country, the duration and credits, universities, field of study, year of project selection. Now,
sorry. Yeah, sorry, sir. I think you want to be sharing your screen right now. I think you're only seeing the presentation slide.
oh, really?
Yes, we are always still on the presentation slide. Sorry for
Oh
cutting.
my goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't know, for some
Yeah.
reason, Zoom has disappeared from my. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, perfect now.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my notice.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I will go back to what I was saying before, right? Because I was sharing, this is what I was sharing before. So when you click on Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, I believe most of you must have seen this on the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship website. This is what I was saying. It covers your travel, visa, and it covers your living allowances. Just to go over this because I wasn't sharing my screen. Now, if you go over this website, when you peruse around it, you find out that you can't actually see the whole where to apply. Like you become confused, right? So if you click on this search and apply, like the Erasmus Mundus catalog, or if you are confused, just write or type in Erasmus Mundus catalog on Google search, or if you're using Microsoft Bing. You type that. Now, if you come down here, can you all see my screen now? Are we on track together?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic, awesome.
Yes.
So like I said before, you know yourself, bachelor's of science in geology. Now you see the filter by keywords, country, duration, and credits, universities, field of study, and year of projection selection, right? This is what we're interested in to apply for it. Now, all these keywords they are very important, right? But there is one important thing here that is more specific, that is specific to you. Can someone like just tell me what that thing will be? From all of this filter by, what should I feel? When you're buying something, for instance, on, is it Jumia? What do they call that thing again? Is it Jumia or Jumia? Yeah, I remember Jumia. I remember Jumia, I remember Kunga, I remember Jumia. That's the one. Yeah, Jumia. Yeah. If you want to filter your things, the important things that comes to you is that you want to filter by price, then probably you start filtering by other things, right? So if you look at this filter by, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Like, if you have to put it on the scale of a priority, right? A scale of preference. What would be the first thing that would be on your top list, first of all? Can someone tell me? Maybe in the chat or anywhere. Can someone tell me quickly?
Field of study.
Field of study, fantastic, fantastic, awesome, awesome. I love this. Good. So your field of study is something that is very important. First of all, that should come first on your list. So now, I'm a geologist, and I know being a geologist, I know how geology is connected to some areas of field. I click on that, and I see AG, I see art, I see chemistry, I see economic sciences, I can see education, I can see environmental and geosciences, I can see geo, I can see history, I can see information science and engineering. Now, permit me, when I give presentations, I would like my audience to understand and follow through, because they say sometimes I want to be a teacher, like in academia or anything. So I want to break things down for you to understand and follow through. Okay. So you see all of this med, law, life sciences, literature. So now I'm applying to this scholarship like I don't know anything about it. I'm not sharing for the first time and I want to follow through, right? I'm seeing physics, political sciences, psychology, social sciences, and humanities. Now I ask myself, like, which of these do I think one is relevant to my field of study as a bachelor's of science in geology? And I see geo, I see environmental and geosciences. Now, you know the way the whole computer programming system runs, like when you just click on a lot of filters and apply to them, it can bump the whole system and bring out a bunch of stuff. And then you start seeing things like, click on next, and that could be overwhelming. Now, the first thing I want to do is that I want to start gradually, so I can get a lot of information that I need, not I want, that I need. So beside you, I believe you should probably, if you don't have a laptop, for instance, now, or probably you don't have constant power supply or so, you need a book, first of all. I usually have a book, right? Then I was applying for master's. So if you're really serious with your own master's and your whole scholarship endeavors, you need a book, like a note. You need a pen as well, too. You get those things down, write those scholarships down, Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. This is it. And now, geology, right? I click on, since geology is the closest thing to me, I can see environmental and geosciences. And I know that geology can be, it has different branches. It could be environmental geology, it could be geosciences, it can be called earth sciences, like anywhere of that, I follow through. I click on that and I come to search, right? You don't need to bother about the country or whatsoever. You don't need all of that. Now I come to environmental and geosciences. I see groundwater and global climate change. I see joint masters in this. So what I do is, for the first link, you will see there are 2 links here. Please, I want you to pay keen attention to this right now. There are 2 links right there. You can see the first link is like giving you the description of what that program is in, right? Masters in smart cities and communities, right? You can see groundwater and global climate change. When you begin to skim through them, the second link is a link that you click when you want to apply. The first link is a link that you click just to give you like a general overview of what that program is all about. So let's say I click on groundwater and global climate change, which is, I think, called a groundwater thereabouts. So when I click on it, for instance, now, I come to this part, it's telling me loading. It gives me a general picture of what this program is all about. This is not where to apply from. It tells me this is a grant that's available for this particular program. It's about 3.6 million euros for this particular thing. That's a lot of money that can sponsor maybe 20 students, or probably like maybe 20 students or 14 or 15 students, because I know Europe is not so expensive like that. Right, this is budget that is allocated, and it's from 2023. Start date is from, this is the 10th month. So the budget for this is from 2023 to 2029 for that, right? The start and the end date for that program. So if you want to get a general overview of what the program entails, like what it is, this is where you should come to. Now, this is where people miss it out. Like, you don't want to read about it. You just want to like go straight to applying. No, that's very wrong. Because what you read here in the summary will be very key. Like, it's important for you when writing your essay, they don't call it statement of purpose. They call it essays for, I've forgotten what they call it. They call it, is it essays or motivational statement or so forth?
Motivational letter.
Motivational letter or thereabouts for the Erasmus Mundus. Now, it's very important for you to like read through this summary of a thing, because it gives you an idea when they start asking you things like, why do you want to study this program? Why do you want to pursue this particular master's? Like, these are where you want to get that information from. Okay, so let's change back to the other link right now. So remember, this was the first link we clicked that took us to that general review of what the program is all about. And now I clicked this particular link. Do you see what we have right there? You see, these are 2 different links, right? So you come here, you see what the program is about, when. Please and please, if you truly want to be at the forefront, like you really want to put yourself out there, read through these things, because again, it will guide you when you're writing your essays For instance, now when you're writing your essays for this particular catalog, this particular program, you want to mention things like good health for groundwater. You want to mention things like clean water and sanitation somehow in your essay. You want to mention things like SDG goals 13 in your essay, climate action. Like you want to integrate these things somehow in your essay. You see, that's why it's important for you to click on these links and read through them. Read through them, digest them very well, and ask yourself, like, how does it fit into what I have as for my background? For instance, bachelor's in sciences, bachelor of science in geology. When you've like understood yourself on this, then you can now say, okay, yeah, I think I'm very good fit for this. Then you come to how to apply. We can't go through all of this right now because we have other things to cover. So you can see here all the information on how to apply, and here information on scholarships. So you say, you get now, let me speak the whole, you follow, you understand the whole things, right? Now, when you click on, there are two links here. See here, you click on this particular one, it takes you to something, how to apply. These are the documents they require. These are the things we're going to do, the essays questions, the prompt questions they need to answer. Why are you applying for this program and all of that? So these are things you need to factor in. Please and please, you can easily be misguided if you don't follow through all of this information, because these all links, like you saw, like you can see right here, there are two here, right? You want to click those links and read through them so you don't get misguided. For instance, and they might tell you in this particular link, you need this particular document and this particular thing to do. And this other link is telling you that you need to apply so and so time or this particular timeline for this program. So you need to go through this again, go through the links and read them. Application for scholarship is tedious. It's when I see people tell me, teach me how to apply or apply for this one, I'm just like, applying for scholarship is like a day job. When I was applying for my scholarship as well, then I was working and I had to sometimes in the night, come back, my phone, then I didn't have a very good laptop then. I was using my phone to type in essays, edit essays and everything. In the night or wherever I find myself, every spare time I have, I go through those things, I type my essays and everything. So it's a job on its own. It's just when you're applying for jobs. So it's a job on it. It's demanding. It's a lot of tasks on its own. So please and please, if you truly want to be out of the country for your master's program or your PhD program, you need to take it serious. And also, most importantly, I know I haven't mentioned this, but very important, you need to remember the God factor. That's very important in applying for scholarship, because that scholarship you're applying for, there are people who have very good profile than you, but you also want to carry the God factor as well and make sure that God is involved in everything you are doing. So now you have all of this information on how to apply. So for geologic folks that are on the platform, you might want to consider this as well. There are tons of geology programs. So one thing I want to mention to you again is that if you don't have, let's say you don't find something direct, let's say I didn't see anything like geology right now, like you can scroll through here. You didn't see anything like geology. But when you read through the requirements for those programs, you will see something like, let's say, they will tell you applicants must have a degree program, or you must have like a bachelor's degree in XYZ, in geology, environmental sciences, in let's say, what other thing again, GIS or remote sensing. Like when you read through all of these things, these are very important again, right? You want to look at the application deadlines, you note that down, because the application for Erasmus Mundus Scholarship varies from program. So if I'm applying to Groundwatch now, I want to apply for this particular program. They have different deadlines. And note, a very important thing is that the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, you can't apply to more than 3 programs. So you have to make your 3 best selections where you have the best shot. If I'm going for a geology-related program, I want to make sure that the 3 programs I'm shooting for are things that I have my profile will shoot more, or will make me a top candidate for it. I'm a geologist right now. I want to go and apply for fishery, or I want to make fishery and forestry. I'm not saying that's the bad course now. I'm just telling you, like, you can see they're parallel, like they don't relate that much like that, right? But if I say, yeah, I study geology, I want to put environmental science, I want to put groundwater, and I want to put the Pangea, that's the one I got. I want to put that for my application. Then you can know that, yeah, you have a very good opportunity or a good chance to get the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship on that. So There are different dates. You need to take note of that. Different dates and different deadlines for individual programs. For instance, now there are some programs that will start by, now the application portal will open by next month, which is November. Some are opened already right now. Some of the deadlines will end by in 2 months' time. So these are things you need to do on your own. No one will do this thing for you. It's called do it yourself. So you have to do all this digging yourself. You need to be disciplined. Take the time off social media and take your whole application very serious. I told myself one thing then, that the time I used to scroll through Twitter or through Instagram, if I would spend 20 minutes on that, I can use to write 2 sentences or 2 lines of my essays. Even though it's rubbish, I'll write. I can write 2 sentences, or I can go and look for professors' profiles or things to apply for. You know, I have to like make it useful. So if you take yourself, like take it very serious, believe me, by next year, by this time, you'll be testifying to the career, to the foundation that, yes, I attended this same thing, and what this person said was really true. I took myself serious and I got it. And I pray God will help us in Jesus' name. Amen. So again, you can only apply for 3 scholarships, and there are different requirements for different programs. But generally, it's important for you to prepare these documents ahead of time. By now, you should know that you need your international passport, because I think some programs will require you to upload your passport or something like a proof of identification. So when they ask you what's your proof of identification, you don't have to be giving them probably NIN or one thing. That could count, but they want to see that you are serious. No one is going to stamp your NIN when you go to the visa, to the embassy for your visa processing. No one is going to stamp your driver's license. They want to see that you have an international passport. So if you're here, you don't have an international passport, please and please start processing it, right? This was one of the things I did then to apply for the Erasmus Mundus, because the first time when I was to apply, my passport had expired. So it kept like bouncing me, like, when I put the expiration date for my passport, it was not going through at all. So I had to wait for the next cycle. And yeah, I told myself, I will close my eye and go and apply for that passport. Go and get your passport. It's very important. In fact, that's a very big leap of faith, a step of faith, if truly you want to go for a graduate scholarship. Now, you get your passport, you need, another thing again you need, the general thing again you need is like proof of identification or proof of residency. For my time, for the proof of residency, you want to use, I know in Nigeria, we don't usually like sign like lease agreement, just like they do like in the Western world. So you want to use things like your electricity bill, utility bills. I think that should count, because during my time, I think I used the Loma bill for those in Lagos State. You want to use things like your Loma bill, like that should count like for proof of residence. At least it shows your, what they call it, your address, carries your name as well. And when you upload that, that could also count as. You can also use, I think at some point they use your bank statement, your bank, is it bank statement or so? I don't know if that is still existing, because people were manipulating those things and forging some things. So they have to like take off some requirements of some document that are required. So international passport number 1, I hope people are jotting things down. International passport number 1, your proof of identification. These are like basic things you need before you start talking about your essay, your CV, your international passport, your transcript. If you are here, you don't have a transcript and you want to go and apply for scholarship, it's not going to be magic. It's not a magical thing. You need your transcript, and your transcript is not an official transcript. You need an unofficial transcript, which you can get from your school authority, from the admin office. I know it can be very daunting, like trying to get those things, but if you're still in school or you just finished last year, please and please, believe me, if you take this in serious, you get your international passport, you get your transcript, every day when you look at that international passport, that alone is a motivation for you to go and start applying for scholarship. That one is alone for, like, is enough ginger for you to use. Like, it's enough ginger, enough boost for you to apply for scholarship. So you need your international passport, your transcript, very important. If you have graduated and you don't have your certificate, your bachelor certificate, you want to get your statement of results. Key, very important. These 3 things are very important. Also, you need a recommendation letter. So for those of you who, when you are done with school, have signed out and have signed out my lecturers, go back and sign into your lecturers. You need them right now. And I'll talk about recommendation letters later in this presentation of what it should look like for your recommendation letter. So let's do away with all of these, right? If you have questions, please put them down. And note very well that there are some programs that will require you to take the English test. So these are things you need to think about. Like this program I'm applying for now, I want to go and spend so amount of money to take the TOEFL. Why don't I go to this other program and apply? If you don't have the money for that, so that will not be an excuse, right? See, if you really want to do this, you'll always find a way. And if you don't want to do anything, you will always find an excuse. And you know what thing? Excuse is just like oxygen, is all around us. You can always pick one out. I don't have money to write TOEFL or GRE or this one, or my school is delaying my transcript. Don't worry, you know what? Let me push it to next year. You keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. An opportunity to keep on going like that, because the school will not say, let's wait for you to get your transcript. Please and please, today is Saturday. By next week, if you don't have all of these, please start pushing for that. Ask for money, ask for anything to get your passport, to get your transcripts. Go and start building connections back with those lecturers that you hated or you dislike or anything. Go and start building connections back with them. Send them a hello. I hope you have been alive during this hard time, or I hope you are alive and well. I just want to check up on you. How is everything? Build that connection today so that you don't just come and tell them, can you send me a recommendation letter? And desist from using friends or this thing to write recommendation letter. They want to see something standard, like they want to see a letterhead probably, or a letter from somebody that can attest to who you are, that can vouch for you, that can give you a quality recommendation. Not someone that will come and say, the boy is good, yeah, he's a good girl, she doesn't steal, she's obedient, she's hardworking. No, but things like, we'll get to that later when I talk about application packages. So now we are done with this. Let me jump out and go straight to my essay. That's already 15 minutes. I will speed up on this right now. Okay. Can you see my screen sharing my essay? Can you all see it?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. Okay, so for the Panja program I applied for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Now, these are the prompts they asked me. They said the first thing is, they asked, why have you chosen this master's degree, Panja? What motivates your choice of tracks? Now, choice of tracks is all about, programs have different choice of tracks. For instance, now, a particular program like this Panja, their track is, let's say they have paleontology, they have like paleoclimatology, they have 4 tracks. So that's what they mean by choice of tracks, right? Now, the question says, why are you choosing this master's Panja? You want to think about your motivation. You want to think about, why do I want to go for this program? What will this program offer me? And where can you get this information from? Not just a random Google search, where you can always get it from the website itself. Remember when I told you, you should go through those details, those programs itself. So the program is telling you, apply for this, that will give you this, will take you to the cave, will take you under the sea, will take you to the heavens, will take you to the 3rd heavens to do this. That is why I'm telling that I want to choose this program, because if I go for this program, they will take me to the 3rd heavens, they will take me to under the ocean to go and see this and this, and this is what I can apply and learn from it. So those websites, they are very critical, like in writing your essays. So now for me, I changed it down a little bit. I twisted it and I clicked out some things here. So if you're copying and trying to like copy and paste or anything, just be very careful. I won't advise you to copy and paste or just do plagiarize it now. I said during my first year of undergraduate studies, I first came in contact with fossils. So this is Panja, right? And it's all about paleontology and geoheritage program. So I said I first came in contact with fossils, and fossils are like dead remains of living organisms, right? During an introductory paleontology laboratory section. Following my introduction to fossils, I was fascinated by how these preserved organisms could provide information about the past. So this was like me trying to push out my motivation, like telling them this is why, like what has aroused me to pursue this master's program. Now, after I said all of that, look at the last part of this particular paragraph. Again, this is not a best of SOP. This is not the best of statement of purpose or best of essays. This was just me. You could do something better. There are other better and people with, that are good writers, incredible writers out there. Follow them if you want to, but this is just me. But one thing remains, that there must be a guideline. Make it clear as possible and concise. Like I said, 400 words. So you are only limited to this. And then with everything, you tie it down that this was accomplished through an independent. So if you go to, in addition, due to my interest in fossils, so I'm trying to connect to again, because of my interest in fossils, this is what I've done. I did my undergrad internship in a biostratigraphy laboratory where I was exposed to laboratory sections like preparation of fossils, foraminifera, which is a fossil. So we're trying to tell them like, yeah, I want to pursue this program, but this is the experience I have already. And I think this experience will be very important for this program I'm applying for, scholarship I want to get. Now, mind you, there are something that people always like make the mistake of like, they tell themselves, I don't have this experience. I have not worked in this. I have not done that. I have not done this. They want, I have not volunteered. But let me tell you something that if you package yourself very well, right? When you package yourself, a lizard that packages itself very well will look like a crocodile. So look at yourself that way. If I can package myself very well, package it. For instance, now they're asking you, do you have leadership skills? If I tell you that everyone on this call have a leadership skills or some sort of volunteering skills or so, when you go to your church, for instance, now, some of you are probably you assist in media for something, you are a chorister or you organize sales services or fellowship or thereabouts. Those things can count. I know there are times when in Lagos State, for I think they do this Thursday or is it Saturday where they call it environmental day or sanitation like this. I think it's every week or every month. I can't really recall again. You can factor that into your volunteer experience. Package it. I can tell you that here, I collaborated with community members of 50 plus to do XYZ with the environment, which fostered and which is like part of the whole SDG goal on clean environment or whatever. Nobody will know that those things are just what everybody will come back and say, Mama Tunde, everybody come out and let's clean the road. You know, these things, they all count. You see how you package yourself. So when you're writing your CV, when you're trying to put in your essay, these are things you have to like package yourself and write your essays. Now, the next thing again, it asks here is, why do you want a program? Like, according to my evaluation, the Panja program as a full paleontology-focused program will provide me with the relevant training and experience in fundamentals and applied paleontology, including geoconservation and geoheritage. These things were not things I tried to make up from my head or anything. Where did I get this information from? I went to the website and I saw that, oh, this program will give me this particular thing. This program will give me this. Don't go and copy and paste and put on your essay. You want to get those information from the website and try to say, okay, yes, let me try and translate it into my essay. Again, don't go and copy and paste. So you can see the next prompt. It says, describe briefly the impact of this academic program on the development of your main activity, your education or career. And then I told them, oh yeah, this is the Panja program will allow me to broaden my knowledge of applied paleontology. Again, I've blurred out some things here, so there might not be consistency in the flow of the paragraph. Okay, so we can see here I'm deeply committed to the advancement of new paleontological skills and technology. That's something I want to show you here as well. Is that it's important that when you're writing your essays, always look for problems that you think that are critical to the area of research or area of program you want to apply to. For instance, now, in my case, they said, briefly describe the impacts you expect from your participation in this project will have in your home country. One key thing, aside from all the things I said there, why I said climate change, for example, is one of the major challenges affecting the world. Nigeria, a developing country with a population of over 200 million people, had 2.7% growth rate, is vulnerable to like climate change issues, which is very true, the whole flooding and all of that. And then you can see, aside from that, I came and I said, paleontology is currently not used in the field of data science. That was at them, you know, things have improved now because of the lack of expertise in organizations like the NGSA. By volunteering with the NGSA or working as a National History Museum curator, I hope to integrate paleontology data to address climate change. Like this, I think, like I was telling that, yeah, this is how this program will impact me. If you give me this thing, like this is how it will impact my own country. So now they say, tell us about how you think participating in this program. The questions may sound almost the same thing. Since they are almost sounding the same thing, they are a bit different because they want you to be specific. Now, this particular last question, this particular last question is very tricky. Now, they're not asking you to tell them about the scientific aspect of it, but what is the non-scientific aspect of it? And then I told them here that although I'll go from the last paragraph just because of time. Although I have never lived or studied abroad before, but I enjoy traveling a lot. And when I come to Europe and all of that, I want to like gain like, you know, immerse myself like wealth of diversified culture, meet different people from France, from Sweden, from Portugal, and all of that. So these are things that you want to actually factor in when writing your statement of your essays for your scholarship. Okay, I think I will leave Erasmus Mundus Scholarship now and just quickly go to the United States, and I will rush and breeze through this in like 10 minutes. So a lot of people always think that Europe is the homeland or the destination for, let's say, for scholarship, but that's not actually true. There are other tons of available scholarship in the United States as well for your program that you can apply to. And it wouldn't make sense for you to just only limit yourself to the application of Shibney and the likes, Commonwealth and Erasmus Mundus. So when I was applying for all the scholarship, I noticed that I already got love letter from Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, right? And the Shibney Scholarship looked as if they want first class. And they want people with 5.0 CGPA and all of that. Well, and the Shibney Scholarship, sometimes you want to apply for this particular school and they want you to probably get admission before you apply, and it has its own thing. So I look all of that and say, okay, let me do away with European scholarship and look for other external things. And then I found out that, to me, if you ask me what scholarship should you go for, I will tell you, if you're in the science field mostly here, I'm not trying to discredit the non-science people or the social sciences people. If you have to ask me what scholarship should you apply for easily that you can always count on very well, I would say the United States scholarship is something that, yeah, you can always apply to, right? Because it's easier to get. So what is United States scholarship, right? Let me share my screen quickly on that. So yeah, you can see my screen on this. Can you all see my screen, right? So United States graduate scholarship and graduate application, very direct, very straightforward. Now, I had to opt in for the United States scholarship because of some reasons about that. You can feel free to ask me the question later on if you're interested. Now, for the USA graduate scholarship, I will give a case scenario for this. It's straightforward. You don't need to apply for a scholarship. You just have to apply for, what do they call it? Admission. And then you are considered for scholarship. And for most cases, or in most cases, for instance, if you get admission, there are chances that you get a fully funded scholarship that covers for your full tuition, your stipend, and sometimes, and mostly your health insurance. The same thing with Erasmus Mundus to your health insurance. People always feel that USA is one hell of a deal, like for you to get admission or for you to get scholarship, and that's not true. Now, before you apply, you need to know what program and research you want to apply to for the United States. And then, like I said, you have to consider your BSc, your research interests, and your long-term goals. So there are two scenarios I'm going to point out here for you all to really follow through on why it's important for you to apply to the USA, because it's easier compared to others. Case scenario one, I'll use myself, or let me use Lillian, for instance. I can see Lillian on my screen as Lillian. Let's just say, Lillian, can you unmute yourself and tell me what a bachelor's degree is in, if you're free to talk? Lillian Honor, are you there?
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Lillian.
Okay, my bachelor degree is on material and methodological engineering.
Awesome. Materials, they call it MetaMath, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, so MetaMath, if I'm correct, yeah. Lillian has a bachelor's degree in MetaMath. And now she wants to pursue for a master's. The United States, you can go from your bachelor's, your BSc, you must have known about this right now. For the United States, you can go from your BSc to your PhD. So as a BSc holder, you can get a PhD admission. It's true, it's real, it's not fraud, it's not rumor or whatsoever. You can get a bachelor's degree, a PhD admission, such that you go from a BSc and in the next 4 or 5 years, you are getting your PhD. Think about that in your head. That why would I want to waste 2 years going to Europe and everything? I can just get 5 years, I'm getting my PhD, and I'll be called a Dr. Lillian Honor, right? Now, that's just by the way. Now, Lillian has a bachelor's of degree, bachelor's of, is it engineering or BEng or so, they call you guys, or BTech in MetaMath. And she wants to apply for a program. Now, Lillian goes through some research programs or so in the United States. And she finds out that, oh yeah, I have different, for my undergraduate project, I'm not so conversant with engineering this thing, so I don't know how to use key examples. Forgive me, Lillian, let me just go to something general for people. So you did microbiology in your Bachelor's of Science, right? In microbiology. In your undergrad project, you did the study of lizard, let me say. And you did about the morphology of lizard, the paleoecology of lizard, or all of that, the environment. You studied lizard entirely. Now you want to go for your master's or your graduate program. You need to be flexible. You need to be open-minded, dynamic, be open. Don't just say, it's either I go for a master's degree research in lizard or nothing. It's either I go for a research in lizard or I don't go for anything. Be open. I can also study a lizard and also study a crocodile. I think they all belong to the same family. I'm losing my track of biology now. I can study a lizard for my bachelor's and study a wild gecko for my master's or PhD. I can study a cat, domestic cat for my bachelor's and study a lion. So what I'm trying to say is that there are some close related research that are tied into your own personal research interest. So here is the first step for United States graduate application. I have to just come up with this quickly. The first thing is deciding what program or research you want to do. And now I have decided that this is what I want to do. The first case study, I have a bachelor's degree in geology. Geology has many areas: stratigraphy, petroleum geology, economic geology, hydrogeology, all of that. For my undergraduate project, I worked on paleontology, sequence stratigraphy, right? And what I'm doing right now, what I did for my master's degree, I didn't use anything about fossils. But why did I connect this? I told myself I'm interested in climate change. And I have not worked on direct climate change in my undergrad, but I can chip in a lot of things. The undergraduate courses I took, I can chip in a lot of this and pitch myself out there, right? You want to package yourself out there. So this is a case scenario for you as well, in case you're in that kind of situation. So don't just run with the whole excuse of, I did this for my master's, for my bachelor's, and this school doesn't offer this, so I don't think I can apply for that. You just zone out. You kill that thing. When I did my bachelor's in geology, I could go for a master's in computer science. If you ask me how, I worked in a lot of data, geologic data, right? I used the well log, a couple of geological data, and I played around with that. If I was to apply for a master's in computer science, right, I can tell a professor or whatever and tell him that, hey, look I did this with this particular programming. I did this, I did that. I programmed this, I use Excel, I integrated Python into this, try to do Python analysis for data analysis and visualization. But I found out that I don't have so much expertise and knowledge in this, and that's why I'm applying for this program. No, they care less about where you did your bachelor's. They care less about whether you had a bachelor's in geology or in, it's all about the motivation for United States. Unlike the Erasmus Mundus, where you need to be more focused, it's more streamlined. Like you saw there, you saw Grand Watch. Someone that did business administration now, or someone that did Yoruba language for undergrad, cannot go and apply for Grand Watch or geology program like that, except you have some very strong experience or work experience that can switch you into that, right? Or you have that tendency to write a very convincing essay, right? For the United States now, it's land of the free, like I said in my introduction about scholarships. It's a land of the free, in terms of you can do anything. There are people who have bachelors in music. So my mentees that I see it, I taught, for my during my masters, you hear this one when they were introducing themselves. They tell you they have bachelors in music, right? And they want to go for their masters. They want to do a master's in geology, and that's why they're taking some little courses, borrowing some courses in geology. Their bachelors are major is in music. Some people did bachelors in, let's say, in geography, and are going to computer science. They are going to, so you have to be flexible in applying for scholarship in the United States. Now, after you've understood yourself, yeah, I'm flexible now. I have this particular degree. What area of interest does my research or this thing cut across? Gather all those things. Again, get a notebook and get either an Excel format to put all of this in details. It's better you write than just have them in your head. Now, the next step is you want to search for schools and professor. So again, we're going to do a live demo about that on how to search for schools and professors for the United States. So Lillian or Caleb or Mariam or Adebo or whoever is on the corner, you are this person, you have a bachelor's in this and you want to search for schools. So if you write down on your book right now, I have a bachelor's in this, I have this experience, I'm interested in climate change, for instance, now, right? I want to search for schools. There are different ways to search for schools. You can go to Google and just type US graduate schools, just type some Google things like Google entries like keywords, US graduate schools in wherever program you are in, climate change or geoscience, or I would say you should always use the keywords, your research interest. US graduate programs are alpha that offers degrees in climate change or wherever you, and then you can go to the school website, you can go to recommendations from friends. Maybe a friend tells you, oh, I saw this particular thing, apply to this school, apply to that. Or you can see position advertisements on Twitter. What is your Twitter feed all about? You need to like see or check all of these things. If you open my Twitter feed now, I bet you'll be seeing a lot of professors, a lot of folks asking or saying, I need a PhD student to join my lab. If you go on LinkedIn, the same thing as well. You're going to see like people asking, I want student and PhD student, I want a master's student. So if you are not seeing all these things on your feed, you need to start asking yourself, like, what are the content or who am I following, right? So you need to start revamping yourself. Okay, let's do a live demo about this. And I have to share my screen quickly, and then I think in the next couple of minutes I should be done. Yeah. Okay, can you see my screen now? I'm sharing the screen again. So I want to search for a bachelor's degree, master's program in Okay, so if you want to, let's say, go for a master's program in geosciences or geology, I Google, let's say, US graduates program. In, let's say, climate change, right? I go to climate change. I see all of these right here. I can see a couple of schools here. I can see environmental education, Master of Natural Science. Sometimes it can be very daunting, like going through all these programs like this, right? But let's just say I know the school I want to apply to, for instance. Now I've curated my list and I've gotten a list of all these schools I want to apply to. I want to apply to University of California in San Diego. I want to apply to Johns Hopkins. I want to apply. Let's just say I've decided to apply to Brown University, or let's just say I'm applying to Dartmouth College, right? Yeah. Now, I go to Dartmouth College. It's time to put, it's time to just put Dartmouth College. I'm going to put Dartmouth College, let's say climate change graduate program, right? That one has so many graduate programs. Okay. That's one. Yeah. Okay, so this is Dartmouth College, right? For instance, now I have Dartmouth College as my school that I want to go to. I click on Dartmouth College. I don't know where to find my program. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Then what I used to do is I go to admissions. And when you click on admissions, you should see these are the graduate programs here, like all the programs that they do at Dartmouth. Undergraduate admissions, Geyser School of Medicine, Guarani Graduate School of Advanced Studies, Thayer School of Engineering. When I look at all of these here, I say, okay, I'm related to earth sciences and geology. And the Guarani School of Graduate and Advanced Studies is where I'm interested in right now. I click on that and I go to Dartmouth College right here, to the Graduate School of Advanced, Guarani School of Graduate and Advanced Studies. I'm running out of water now. Okay, I go to this right here and I want to explore my department, right? I could go to I'm missing out on this right now. Yeah. Speech statements. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'm now at the Dartmouth graduate program, the Department of Earth Sciences. Now I want to look for professors that I want to reach out to. So the step in the United States is that after you find a program, you want to read through the profiles of people, the profile of the program, and see the profile of professors before you can start applying to. And how do they all connect? And how do we connect to my own research interests? Now, the things you want to look for is on the website, look for the department that you are interested in, right? Look for faculty or people. So most of them have like faculty, most of them have people listed there. So you want to click on people. If you don't see people, some of them have it as faculty. Yeah, you click on that. Or before you go to even faculty, you want to click on something like research, for instance, now, because this is where you are more interested in. Now, for me, I'm interested in climate, anything about climate. You might not see climate change right there. You might not see what you want right there, but you need to look for something related, closely related to where you are, or closely related to what you want to do for your master's or your graduate program. Now, you click on, let's say, I'm interested in climate and cryospheric sciences, or I'm interested in earth surface and environmental sciences. I click on this right there, and I read through the profile, I see all of that, I see what they do. I look at, yeah, okay, this is what the program does, right? And then I read through it. Now, most schools will always have faculties or professors that are tied to that program, to that research. And now I look at this particular professor. I have Sharon, I have Brian, I have Meredith, I have Joshua Landis, I have William Levitt. And now I'm interested in, let's say, Mauritius research. I click on Mauritius research, right? And then I read through our profile, ding, ding, ding. I've read through the profile. Then I look at it. I go to our personal website, very important. Go to their personal website. I read through our personal website. I peruse around, play around it. Oh, I love what she's doing. Oh, look at her. She's standing at the rock. I look at that. Oh, look at this. Look at that. I want to be this. I want to be that. I go to our research topics. I just play around the website. I see what she does, right? Sediment transport on steep slopes, all of that. I say, okay, this is what I'm interested in. Yes, I found one professor. I write it down. The same thing you do for other schools as well. Like you've seen Marisa policy, right? You want to go to other schools as well. Let's say I want to go to Stanford, for instance, now, or I want to go to, you can mention any school you want. Let's say Stanford, right? Oh, no. What's wrong with my laptop today? Okay, for some reasons, my laptop doesn't want me to. Okay, so this is Stanford, for instance, now. This is the Department of Earth and Planetary Sciences at Stanford. Remember, it's not called geology. It's called something else right here, Earth and Planetary Sciences. I click on that, right? And there, can you all see my screen so I don't start talking to myself again? Can you see my screen?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks.
Okay. So I do the same thing here as well. You can see here, they call it people as well. I go to people, I go to faculty, or I go to research and impact. I look at their research there. I look for already research that is like connected to what I want to do for graduate program. They have some of incredible research they do here, geobiology, geochemistry. Oh yeah, I'm interested in paleontology, paleobiology. I don't like that anymore though. I'm interested in more of, let's say, geochronology and thermochronology, geochemistry and environmental sciences. I want to do that. I click on that, right, to learn more about it. I read through it. I look at the faculties that are connected to it. You can see what they put there, right? You see the geochemistry and environmental chemistry faculty. You will always see those things around, like in that your research interest. Now, I list all my faculties. So what you want to do is you want to list out those faculties, the universities. What I did was I have my university, I have the faculty, the area of research, let's say I have Dartmouth College, I have Mercer Policy, I have surface processes tied to our research. I begin to list that and list that. And then before you've created about 15 schools. It's a lot of work. Then you start streamlining it based on some factors. Which one has given application fee waiver? Which one have responded to my email, right? So now we have done all of that. We've gotten our professors. We've gotten the school we want to apply to. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to do what we call the cold emails. I believe most of us know what they call the cold email and the cold email. You're familiar with it already. Now, for the cold email, it's the first selling point for you. This is the first thing that you do to put yourself out there now to this professor. Now, I have Marisa, and I want to send an email. Already, when you go to the website, you will see our contact there, our email. Desist from calling them, please. Don't, because it's going to take a lot of money, right? So you have our email address. And I believe by now you understand that your email address should not be cow for Christ or cow sexy or cow Caleb at Yahoo, or your email should be Caleb, some Opala, Lillian Honor, not Lillian Frenzy and one thing. Because these people, when they see those emails coming to them, they look at the email, they look at if it's a spam email, and they just like trash it out quickly. So you want your email to be straight. You want the email subject very key. For me, I would prefer using email subject when sending cold emails like prospective, graduates, research interests in geomorphology, in climate change. Or you can put for 2024, a colon, prospective graduate students, research interests in XYZ, in that, in this. Don't send an email without a subject. Number one is rude. Number one, it appears so stupid. Number two, it makes you look like you're an unserious and cluttered student, or you will be a cluttered graduate student. Number three, you want to send an email with a concise email subject, right? And then on the first letter, the first word, like introducing your email, you don't want to put "Hi, Professor Marisa." I mean, you don't want to put "Hi, Professor Marisa." You don't want to put "Hi, Marisa." You don't want to put "Hi, this thing." You want to be professional. Dear Professor, you go with their last name, right? Their last name is what they want. We are calling them by their title. You go with their last name. So, dear Professor XYZ, right? Dear Professor Policy, that's a last name. Now, the next thing, I intentionally didn't want to like put in a code email here of example of that because I noticed that people want to screenshot those things and start sending the same emails. So if you go online, or I think I might, if you are the organizer of this program, like remind me about it, I would share with them examples of code emails that probably I use there, right? So your email should have like the introduction. How do you introduce yourself? My name is Caleb Opala. I have a bachelor's degree. Don't be personal. Nothing like, my name is Caleb Opala. I'm from Nigeria. I'm an Igbo. They care less about that. My name is Caleb Opala. I have a bachelor's degree in geology from the Federal University of Petroleum Resources. For my undergraduate project, I did this, I did that. I am interested in this. When I came across a profile, I see that it is well aligned. You see it now? That's a short introduction. Now you go to the body of email and you start giving them details about your experience, right? You want to start with things like, oh, in addition to my academic experience or my academic background, I have experience or work experience or internship in this is that. I have gathered skills from this particular online course I did. I'm interested in this, that's why I took this. You want to start tying into their research. And most important is that try to always tie it to their research. You don't want to tell the professor that is working on lizard that you want to go and study plants. You want to go and study sand. It doesn't make sense. So your research interest should correlate with what that professor is actually doing in his research lab. Okay? And then the last thing you want to add to that email is, why am I interested in this particular professor? Yes, I am interested in this professor because I want to gain the skills in using Python data to do or to build climate models. And then you had it with, oh, I'll be happy if we can schedule a Zoom call with me and if we can talk more about this research interest and for me to share more about my academic background and academic, experience or my work experience with you and how it relates to your research interests. sincerely, yours sincerely, Caleb Okpala, you attach your CV. Please and please, there is a difference between academic CV and professional or what job CV. Time won't permit me to start bringing out those informations for you because I told myself it's going to be a 1 hour talk and I've gone past 1 hour, 24 minutes, right? So time will permit for that, but there is a difference between academic CV and job CV. Your academic CV will have like a research interest, research experiences. Like I told you, your volunteer or leadership experience. Remember those packaging I talked about where even though you were just part of the community that cleaned gutter or cleaned the road, you just want to package yourself there. You work in a church, you put your church, like there are things in your sections. Your CV should look like that. For your transcript, I would say, right, if you don't have a good result, if you don't have a first class, a 5.0 or a first class in general, or you don't have a strong 2-1, wherever, you don't want to send your transcript to them and you have, I'm not trying to shit anyone right now. I will tell the real truth. You don't want to send a transcript that will sell you short of it, right? For your CV, you should have all those details there. Your bachelor's of science, your master, your thesis, your project you did, the title of your thesis, of your project rather, then your grade. Maybe you want to put your grade there and just like put it in the US scale. So this is what you should send to the professor. Again, transcript is optional. You don't have to send a transcript except the professor requests for it, or you feel that, yes, I have a good result, so I can send it, right? So after that, you've gotten all of this email, you sent this email to the professor. The professor receives about 100 emails. My professor tells me, like, we have a meeting, and in 1 hour or 20 minutes, she goes back to her computer. She has seen about, I kid you not, I'm not trying to make up anything. She receives about 200 emails in just how many hours? In just 1 hour, about 200 emails have come into her this thing. People from different places, India, Pakistan, Nigeria. She shows me all of this, right? So how do you stand out from this? You need to be persistent. You need to be, you need to just see yourself like, this is my one shot, right? That's why I said the United States is very easy, because you want to market yourself before you start applying. Now you send an email to the professor. Luckily, the professor email doesn't filter your email and send it to like the spam folders. And let's say it gets bumped up. Those keywords that you put in your email, it's very important because it's catchy. Don't send a very lengthy email. Make it brief, make it concise. Put keywords. Go to the professor's website, look for keywords, integrate that into your body of email. These people, when they read, they don't read line by line, such emails like that. They don't read it line by line. They just flip through it and then pick out keywords. So they see that keywords, geochemistry, beryllium 10 dating, geomorphology. They look at those keywords. Okay, what's he trying to say here? Okay, he has this, he has that. That now like draw their interest. Like, okay, let me read this person's email and let me look at his CV. And then the professor sees your CV. He's like, oh yeah, I love this person. What does he do? Or what does he or she do? They send you an email. Hi, Lillian. Hi, Victor. Hi, Mohammed. It was great like getting to like know you or do this one. Thanks for sending me your email or whatever. I would like to schedule an email, a Zoom call with you to, talk further about this and tell you about my research group. That is when we talk about the interview stage. Now, if a professor doesn't reply you, don't give up. I sent over 200 emails, and I'm not joking about it. I sent over 200 emails when I was applying for United States graduate application. Like I sent, when I mean 200 over, because it's more than 200. Then I was like, every day I told myself I was going to send about 10 emails, of at most 5 emails, a minimum of 5 emails every day. I will schedule them. So when you're sending them emails, you want to know the time zone difference. You don't want to send an email when it's going to be like in the late night that time, right? So then I usually schedule my email to be sent around, so I send my emails around 3 p.m. my time. Nigerian time then, which is going to be like, let's say sometimes, depending on, because US has about 5 time zones. So for my professor in the eastern part of US, this is a lot, right? But it's very easy for you to do. Now, you need to know their time zone. So I would always say send your emails around 3 p.m. Nigerian time. To me, that's just my own preference. I'm not saying it's a standard way of you getting replies. So send your emails around 3 p.m. Nigerian time and send it early morning their time. So early in the morning their time, for instance, now, if I'm using the Eastern time zone, the EST time zone, if you have to send an email early morning their time, Nigeria is ahead of the United States, right? So when you people are already in the afternoon, so you send it around, let's say 3 p.m. your time, that would be like at 9 a.m. their time. They're waking up, they're going to the office. The first thing they do, most of them, is that they check their emails. So you want your emails to be at the top of their email list, right? So when you send it 3 p.m. your time, it's already like 9 a.m. EST, but that would be 6 a.m. in California time. So you need to know where you're sending your email to, what particular school. If you're sending to California, California is about 8 hours thereabout each ahead of Nigeria, behind Nigeria rather. So send it 3 p.m. your time. That's the standard way I would recommend. And like I said, I'm not saying it's the best way, but to me, you usually get a lot of response when you send it 3 p.m., 4 p.m. that time, because that's like the early morning when they're just waking up. So when you send that email, he interviews you. In the interview process, that's an entirely different thing. You need to prepare for your interview, ask them questions. I don't have, maybe on another time again when the organizers can, put up a program for them to, for interview stages for grad school. Like that's a different entire thing on its own entirely. Like it's a lot, right? But you just keep it casual. Don't fidget, don't look like as if you know everything. So when you're asked a question, don't feel like, oh, I don't know it, I don't know it. Don't go and do what we call in the local parlance, over-sabi. If you don't know something, show that motivation. They know that you don't know anything. Sorry to say that, but they know that you don't know it. Just show that enthusiasm. Just show that you know that you want to learn it. You are motivated about it. Show that excitement of why you want to do research. Because research is not just copy and paste. It's a lot of brain work. It's a lot of hard work. So they want to see that enthusiasm. So after that, the professor tells you, apply. That's, oh yeah, you look like a great fit to my listen, apply to the program. Then you now have to come to your statement of purpose, your academic CV, your recommendation letter. So I'll be very strict on this recommendation letter, is that for your recommendation letter, you need to be particular about who is writing recommendation for you. Don't just pick out anyone who is going to write a generic recommendation, right? Someone who is going to write things like I said before, Ada is a good girl. She comes to class early. No, give your recommenders details about yourself. You can probably send them like a short essay about yourself, like, oh, this is what I've done. This is what I've been through, or this is what I'm doing right now. These are the experiences I have. Can you integrate this into the recommendation letter you're going to write for me? Very important. So that when these professors are reading it, they are seeing details and not just some generic thing that she's hardworking, she comes to class early, she's always sitting at the front, she's studious, she's obedient, she's a Christian, she's a born-again girl. No, they don't want to see all those things. They don't want to see she's hardworking. I will tell you, they hate seeing those she's hardworking. How about Lillian is hardworking, as demonstrated in her XYZ, for example? She comes to class early and makes sure she sits at the front. She excelled in my coursework, even though this happened in class, or this happened during the semester where it was like overworkload for her. She was able to manage her time. Oh, I managed Lillian for 5 years. What I can tell about Lillian is that Lillian is very meticulous. She's meticulous rather when it comes to data organization. Like, you see, this is more detailed than just giving she's an obedient girl, what have you. Don't want to be careless about that. So your recommendation letter is very important. 3 recommendation letters are always very important, right, for grad school applications. So I will also say keep about 5 professors, lecturers or professor or whoever, recommenders to say, from Nigeria or wherever. Make sure that that person can attest to you, has been tied to you, must have lectured you, right? So these are things that you have to factor into your application package for the United States graduate application. This looks a bit different from what you have in Erasmus, for Erasmus and other scholarship. Now, this is more particular about the science field. For the non-science, it's a bit tricky. I'm not a non-science, but I can give a bit of advice about that. Is that for social sciences, for instance, and for that, for some of them, you just have to apply directly. You just have to apply to the program directly and pray. Otherwise, for others, you have to like send cold emails. But I know mostly cold emails are always for science and field. But you never can know. You can also shoot a shot for non-science field or for arts and sciences. There are people who have gotten scholarship for things like, let's say, some arts and science field. There are people out there who have gotten that for mass communication, for PhD. It's possible. Believe me, everything is possible, right? So going forward, for your statement of purpose, before I jump to the SOP, your GRE, some of you now be thinking, what about the GRE, the GMAT, the TOEFL, the IELTS? How will I write that for the US? I never wrote a GRE. I never wrote GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS. I never applied like I didn't use the application fee or whatever. I never paid any application fee. Yeah. So you can always ask for an application fee waiver, describing your hardship, describing how things, you can, package the hardship and make it pitiable at the same time. You make it look so packaged, you understand? Don't look as if you are begging. But when you tell them, oh, the minimum wage in the country is this, that I'm earning, then I told them I was earning so and so amount of money. I'm sure when I came to the US and I told my professor how much I was earning, he converted to dollars. She was at some point she was doubting, like, that's not possible. So when you put all of this in your email they are trying to send for application fee waiver, that's different from your code emails, right? So you send this into like your graduate coordinator from that same Department of Earth Sciences. You tell them that you need application fee waiver. Attend graduate fairs. Like, you can also see application fee waivers from that. You can also see some people giving out application fee waiver codes, all of that. Again, always ask them that, do they require a GRE? Some programs, most programs in the United States have dropped the whole GRE for graduate programs, right? So that's that for that. For SOP, I'm trying to rush now. For SOP, your statement of purpose should be 5 or 6 paragraphs. Don't make it too cluttered. Don't be too much about it. 2 pages maximum. Mine, I think, my own was, 1 page or thereabouts, or 1.5 pages for my SOP. You want to start with your motivation, the next thing, your experience, academic experience, work experience, internship, volunteer experience, how those connect to your research or what you're applying for. Then the next paragraph, you want to talk about the research interest you want to work on. Let's say you're going to work on groundwater, you're going to work on climate change. You want to work on those things, like those paragraphs. 5 paragraphs: introduction, the body, and the conclusion. And at the last paragraph, you want to talk about, why am I choosing this professor? I'm choosing this professor because she works on this, she does that, she does this. I've read a paper on this. I'm applying to this school because this school is, don't use generators like this school is the biggest school or is a, no, some specific things. Oh, this program actually will give me an opportunity to work on this because they have this particular thing in the lab. For instance, in my case now, I mentioned my professor's lab, cosmogenic light laboratory, which is one of the very cool labs in the United States, right? I mentioned some very cool things about the cross-pollination of programs, like departmental faculty. Imagine working with this person and getting the knowledge from this particular professor and using that to like develop and build your career. So these are things you want to mention in your statement of purpose. Yeah. Again, there is no perfect statement of purpose. No perfect statement of purpose. No perfect one at all. Don't say, if I copy this person that has gotten scholarship, I will put it into my own, copy and paste. It doesn't work that way. Be original, be authentic, be yourself, but make sure you are clear and concise. And then after that, you go to apply. Like I said, apply for a fee waiver. You attend school fairs online. Go to the website of those schools. Subscribe to their emails, right? Subscribe to their emailing list so they can send you some updates about workshops, and then they can give application fee waivers for there. I remember even my school, my Dartmouth College, I graduated from, I applied for their graduate fair. I even spoke to one of the professors there. I met him. I told him that there and then, that, oh, I've been meaning to like get in contact with you. I've sent you like a bunch of emails to your, Dartmouth email address. And he was like, oh, he's so sorry that he has not been able to go through his emails, and probably must have gone to the spam. There and then he gave me his own personal email. Yeah. And we exchanged email, like personal email address, which some of them might not do. They will want to stick to official email address. He gave me his personal email address and told me I should shoot an email there. I told him like, oh yeah, I've just sent it to you. There and then he told me where we should schedule an interview, right? You see the benefit of attending a social event or your graduate and career fair. Very key, yeah. So with that, you apply and you trust God. Now, bringing God in front, God at the end. In everything, you still need to keep trusting God. Nothing is bigger for God to do. And when you put God in front, right, the Bible says, commit your ways unto the Lord. If you trust in him, he will bring it to pass. That's what I did as well. And I'll tell you, that's the real thing I did. I trusted in God. And when the doors were opening, I kept thanking God. Rejections will be there. But don't allow those rejections to deter you, to make you feel like, you know what, let me give up. I have found my journey for scholarship 2020. That was during COVID or after COVID, thereabout, yeah. And then I got it in 2022. So you see, it's not an easy thing. Some people start the first time and they get it. Some people have to like do 1 year, 2 years. and they get it. So if you have been getting rejections, ask yourself, don't allow the rejections to make you back out, but come back again and ask yourself, like, what am I doing wrong? Okay, my SOP, your SOP, you have to like give it to 3 people at max. That's what I did to myself, like 3 people maximum that will review the SOP. Avoid using things like ChatGPT to write SOP, because there are some common cliche words that there are some cliches that if I see them, when I read through people's even like their write-up on everything, I see things like delve, I see it's common, like some cliches, like I know that this is obviously ChatGPT, right? It's not flowing, it's not looking original at all. Avoid that. You can tell ChatGPT to give you an idea, and then you pick that up, try to put it in a woman form. So be original in everything. I know it's kind of difficult, and I know I really know that it's not easy. I can just be here telling you that, yeah, it's that, it's this, because we've gotten a scholarship. The God that has done now will also do it for everyone on this platform that are looking for scholarships, such that on LinkedIn, on Twitter, I want to be liking people posts that, oh yeah, this person was part of this thing and she has gotten a this thing. Like, I want to see people by next year, that everyone, if possible, which I believe is possible, because my own is everything is possible in this life. So to that, I would come to the end of the talk. I'm sorry, this is about 2 hours, which I didn't plan to do, right? So I'll come to the end of my talk. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, there are a bunch of questions here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So everybody on the call, can we just celebrate our resource person tonight?
Thank you,
Can we
Thank you so
can we
much.
celebrate him? Can we celebrate him, please?
Thank you,
Let's show some love in the comment section. I'm also trying to do that as well. It's been a very enriching session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge from graduate school applications. You are not showing him enough love. Oh.
I think I've gotten enough.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. So it seems we have a number of questions here. We have a number of questions. I don't know if, let me see if I can pick 1 or 2 from what has been sent here. Okay, I think someone asked a question as regards the recommender, and someone who can recommend for us as prospective graduate students. Is it necessary that the person recommending must be from your school, like from the school that you finished from? Is that a criteria that is going to be considered, or is not really important?
Well, that's a very good question.
Someone asked something.
Yeah. So for who can recommend for you or write a recommendation letter for you, if you're 3 years, if you just graduated recently, I'll tell you that your 3 recommenders, a strong recommendation letter will be people from your undergrad. And I'm not just saying it off my head, it's what I've had interactions with professors, right? Because I was interested in trying to see what's the process like, the whole admission process. And then I get to interact with, especially my advisor, she's very rigorous, right? And she'll tell me that if 2 people, at the end, those 3 recommendation letters, it's only 2 they end up reading. That's what I can tell you for free. Like, they end up reading 2, right? They read your SOP and 2 at most case, because they have tons of applications to look at. Yeah, so someone from your school, if you just graduated last year, someone from your school would be the best bet for you. But let's say you finish in 2020 or 2022, and you started working, like you have a work experience, right? So if I were in your situation, I will use someone from 2 recommenders from my school and 1 from my work experience. Why so? 2 can tell me about my time of academy, what I did, my research, my undergrad experience. Was I Olodo? Was I brilliant? Was I this one? They can testify to that. Now, the work recommendation will tell them, yes, he's still consistent. I see him, he's still like this, he does that. He doesn't chicken out in terms of like problems. He finds out solutions to that. He has like critical thinking. So one secret I will tell you is that this is being recorded now, but I'm trying to be very careful. One big secret I will tell you is this. There should be a sense of consistency in your recommendation letter. So if recommender A is saying, Lillian, why am I using Lillian today? Okay, Maria, why am I saying Maria? Okay, okay, let's go with Deborah or Dorcas. She has high level of critical thinking. One, that's what the first recommender says. The second one says, well, she needs a bit of improvement in her critical thinking skills. I find it difficult when we interact and everything. The third one is saying she chickens out easily under pressure. These are inconsistent, right? So you want to be consistent in your recommendation. This person is saying she has high critical thinking skills. She's independent. All of them are saying the same thing. So what they do is that they have like a list of what they pick out from those recommendation letters. They say, okay, this person is saying Dorcas is independent and she does things independently and she comes out with things that are original, like original research. And then the second one says the same thing, the third one says the same thing. That's like maybe they give them in points. That's like 10 points. Like this one makes sense. And they put you as like, okay, they go to your SOP and they see that consistency of that critical thinking or independent listing. Let's say you already mentioned independent thinking or whatever, independence research or whatever in your SOP. They see that, oh wow, this person is consistent. That's what they want to see, to be honest. That's the majority of the thing they look at in these whole SOP applications. Like they want to see that consistency in what you're doing. It is making sense, yeah? So again, if you have gone 3 years ahead, I would say 2 from your school, 1 from work. Otherwise, you can always use maybe 1 from school, 2 from work, but let them be someone that are tied to you. Don't want to use your father's recommendation letter. And this is being recorded, but if it's possible for you as well, send a draft of what you want them to talk about, or a draft about yourself, like an essay or a CV. For me now, you can send a CV of yourself to your recommender and tell them, use this to write a recommendation letter for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I have the permission of the founder. I don't know if there are folks who want to ask a question or two. I don't know if you have time to allow for probably a question or two before.
All right. Yeah, can
All
you hear
right,
me?
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victor.
Okay.
We'll just take one question. That's if someone wants to ask a question, they can just unmute and ask. They can raise a hand, unmute and ask. Just one, just so we save Mr. Caleb's time.
No,
And then Mr. Caleb, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Except people want to go. I have like, let's say 30 minutes each or thereabouts. So otherwise I can jump off the call. But
All right.
I really want to give
All right, that's great. So we'll just take 3 more, if that is okay, sir.
No. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So just
Hello.
to organize things, I can see a couple of hands raised here. I want us to be like kind of organized. So I'm seeing Desmond, I'm seeing David, I'm seeing Emmanuel, and I'm seeing
all right.
So let's start with Desmond.
Yes.
Right? I'll start with Desmond. So
Okay,
Desmond,
sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you for this moment. It has been an enlightening one. Okay, my question is coming regards to Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Yes, I just graduated. Though my transcript is not yet ready, there's the program I'm looking forward to and permits that final year students can apply. So they have been specific about. First, I want you to give me light on this personal statement of purpose, and the letter of motivation. And then, because the particular program, HiSET, requires that I give them a page of letter of motivation. And they want me to address it to a specific, like the program's coordinator. So it's as though the whole write-up is limited. So how can I be able to express myself with all of this, what I was doing, what I'm currently doing, and what I look forward to in these limited pages that I have to write. So basically, my question is differentiate the personal statement, statement of purpose, letter of motivation, and then how I can be able to fit in all of my motivation into the letter of motivation in a page. Thank you very much, sir.
So you say you are going for a PhD for Erasmus. Is that what you're saying?
No, masters.
A master's. So it's very tricky here when we talk about personal statements, letter of motivation, and SOP, the statement of purpose. Now, for the personal statement, you see the word personal statement. It's you using more of your personal experiences to drive your motivation. For instance, now, I wrote a personal statement for Dartmouth, and they mentioned personal statement too. 2 years is a long now. So the personal statement is, I could say I've experienced flooding. It's a personal experience for me. And this flooding was what propelled me, like we use ginger to study climate change. Personally, I looked at the weather pattern of Nigeria has changed. Harmattan season is no longer, it's irregular right now. It comes sometime April. This was what I said, right? And this could be like a personal statement. You're trying to use personal experiences to drive your motivation. So people mistake this whole idea of personal statement as you want to start telling them how hard it is, hardship and everything. You're not organizing a pity party for yourself. They're not going to give you, if they are going to do that, they're going to do a charity organization and say, let's send out charity funds for folks back there. So your personal statement is, you're using personal experiences, personal work experience, personal academic experience to fuel your motivation. Let it be your motivation for that. Now, your letter of motivation, your personal statement it has like a lot of personal experiences. Like you see the word personal, like, so everything I'm saying like has to be personal, like it's more personal. But you see your letter of motivation or your statement of purpose they are somehow related or together. But the slight difference is just the letter of motivation is all about telling them about what motivates you the more, like telling them all about your motivation and how ties it into what's your research interest. So I'm going to give this very important way of writing. Like I said before, I like to break things down and make people understand. So when you're writing, think about things as like a funnel, an hourglass. You know what they call an hourglass, right? The way the hourglass is like this, it goes like this, then like this. That's the shape of an hourglass. Your motivation when you're writing, so when you write, think about this all the time. You have your hourglass, right? Remember, if you know what an hourglass looks like, you can Google it and see what I'm saying. So you have this broader aspect. It's taking all in like your motivation. What's your motivation? You want to solve climate change. Climate change is one thing. Now for this, we can start with a problem. Like let's say, you can say climate change is a very critical issue that is ongoing right now in the world, and this is that. And in Nigeria, I've experienced, just like I showed you in my statement of, my essay, that's your funnel. And this is how your motivation, like your experience, like fit into this. This is what you're experiencing, and this is what you want to do, and this is that. That's a funnel, right? The openness. And now, if you see the hourglass, it comes to the middle, like it's slim, right? The middle part is like it's slim, right? It's narrowed. So you want to narrow all of those motivations to those research or whatever program you're applying to. That this motivation connects to this. This program offers this. So that narrow path, and that's where your body, like, I think it's usually the second and the third paragraph or the fourth paragraph. That's where that middle part is. And you want to talk about how that program fits into that motivation, how that program will help you achieve that, to get that skills, to acquire that knowledge, right? And then you come back to that same motivation again. That after I've learned all of this will help me, right? You are going back to that same place again. This will help me resolve or tackle this particular issue. How? Applying for a PhD program, becoming a professor, getting a consultancy job. When I get this master's degree, I can be in a better position to apply for a consultancy job to like resolve climate change, consult for companies on how to regulate their carbon emission, how to mitigate climate changes. You see, you've come back to that same topic again, to the old place again. How? Different in a different way. So always see it as a funnel like this. You are coming back. So you are starting with a broader motivation. You streamline it down. You are coming again back to the conclusion, but your conclusion should be tied back to your introduction. So you're not splitting away. You want to flesh out those key details things, right? So this is what I would say about the letter of motivation, statement of purpose. Again, just to recap, the personal statement is more personal. It's more of using personal experiences to drive whatever you are applying to. You had a sibling who you lost, or a loved one you lost from cancer or whatever, or from malaria. You can use that as the motivation, the personal statement, like, well, this particular thing, personal, blah, blah, blah. You want to study malaria, you want to go and solve malaria or do whatever thing you want to do. You see, that's something personal. So that's just my own answer to that your question. I don't know if that answered your question. I think you should put it in the chat so I can answer. Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Apologies to Button. Because of time, and then I see that some of the participants are leaving.
Okay.
We like to, want to take this opportunity to take a group photograph. David, I don't know if you are still on this call. If that will be possible, can we do that right now, just before the next person takes?
All right, we can. Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right. So please, I would like to call on everybody now to please open the video, their cameras now. If they can just start that now. I want to do that on my own end too, right now. Everyone on this call, please, can you please is it unlock your camera now, please, so that we can just have this the good photograph quickly. Is that possible? All right, the number of us are okay. Let me see. Okay.
Sorry, can I ask that you stop sharing your screen right now so that we could have a fuller, just for a moment, sir.
You said?
Can I ask that you stop sharing your screen for a moment so that we can get everybody?
Okay.
I'm not sharing screen on. It's not showing anything yet.
Okay.
So you,
yeah,
still sharing from here. You're still sharing from here.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you so much. So everybody kindly just turn on your videos. I see it's so dark. I mean, obviously.
It's so dark of me.
So if you could have a little bit of lamp, let's add to it. Mujib, please turn on your video. Okay, I have Goodness Omoje Ngbesi, you could turn on your video. Olamile Konlatunde, if you could have a little bit of light to what you have. No problems if you can, but just to add to what we are having here. Oluwambe Ojakunwa, you could just turn on your video so we could have a pull-up picture, please. Everyone, let's have that video tile coming up. Lillian, I think you've been so much of a good example today, so please help us with your video if you can. And okay, Mujib, I think some of us are still not connecting with our videos. I'm taking the screenshots already, but we'd really love that we have a fuller video and everything. Yeah, I'm seeing some of us. Daniel Amek has turned on your video. Okay, let's take the second slide of people. Okay, and can we all just say career associates or something like that? Or cheese, whichever works, right? 1, 2, go.
Career associate.
Okay, I'm not sure I got that so well, but
career associates.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I think we have beautiful pictures from today's session. So thank you so much, sir. I think that's all from me. Over to you back.
Okay. All right. So we can have the next question. Emmanuel, right? That should be Emmanuel in what time?
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
You can ask this question.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
You can go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Caleb, for putting together, and Career Associates for putting together this program together. I think it's been a special one for me particularly because I'm currently applying for the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, and where Mr. Caleb actually worked before he traveled out, that's where I'm currently working. It to be even surprising that from that workplace, that was how I even knew him. I'm not sure he will even remember my face. But
where is that?
My request, Dukiago.
Oh.
Yeah. And they mention you, they always reference you to whenever I'm doing things, like whenever I'm studying slides, they'll say, that's how Caleb does it. I was like, who is this Caleb? And it's just I'm so happy to see you, sir. So it's just been a pleasure. Okay, my question now, it's concerning if you're searching for supervisors or associate profs to actually help you in your whole application process. How do you actually do that? Did you get my question?
Oh, apologies.
Hello,
we lost your audio. It was a bit glitchy.
Okay, like before you select professors to apply to for a particular program in your cold emails, do you look for professors that are aligned to your field? Do you screen professors before you apply?
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, right? When you say screen, do you like filter out professors that relates to what I want to do for my research? Yes, I did. Like I already showed you, you have to go through those websites, filter them, look for, it must not be something related, directly related. That's why I use the word something closely related to what you do. So let's say you want to go for instance, you're a geologist, I suppose, right? Let's say you want to go for, you want to apply for geotechnical engineering. You might see a professor that does something on environmental geology, or let's say someone that does something on rock mechanics, for instance. Now, those are all related. Or someone that does structural geology, or someone that does like groundwater sampling or whatever, or hydrogeology. That's still related. They're all tied together. So you can somehow loop in your research interests. It's just like I can use the word lizard and crocodile. If I see someone studying lizard and I studied crocodile and I want to study crocodile, I will tell you like, yeah, I studied crocodile, but I can use the information about the crocodile to answer what a lizard. A lizard has 4 limbs, right? A crocodile has 4 limbs as well. It's just one went to Harvard, the other one is this thing, and that's just the size. What I mean that crocodile will go Harvard. I still have my pigeon in me. Crocodile will, lizard will go Harvard, and they call crocodile. You get the whole logic is, we are trying to say, you are studying lizard, right? I study crocodile, but I want to use this understanding of crocodile to study lizard. They're all relatable, yeah? So the same thing as well, you are studying this particular thing, climate change. Like, there are different ways of studying climate change. I can use microfossils, I can use climate models, I can use different proxies to study climate change. It doesn't rule out the fact, my professor uses cosmogenic nuclides, which is using like rocks to tell the history. That's a critical component of my research. Yeah, so she's not working on, she doesn't know anything about foraminifera or microfossils. That didn't shortchange me to tell me that, yeah, I shouldn't go with her. I should look for only people that work on microfossils. So I went with her. Yeah, you see now. So just factor that into when you're looking for professors. Be open-minded about it.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. What's your name? Sorry.
Emmanuel Mwaka. I think I'll message you on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah, the last I think we should just limit the questions to 3. I have the last person there to ask you so that we don't waste too much time.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is David. I want to ask concerning the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship. Thank you very much for this session. 2 things, but they are very brief. First one is